Yeah, okay. I'll go with the egg. That's so good. Hi, I'm Taylor Castro, and this is my cup of tea. So I put my tea bag in there, and I'm going to pour hot water over it. For me today, I am going to choose Briar. I want some energy. Briar has pretty much everything I love in a tea. She was heavily inspired by all of my favorite flavors, and also character-wise, Blair Waldorf. Heavily inspired by Blair Waldorf. So she's a little bit sassy, character-wise. So I put my tea bag in there, and I'm going to pour hot water over it. By the way, I like to put my tea bag in first so that the water goes over it and fully seeps it. I'm going to let that sit for about 4 to 6 minutes. Funny enough, this will make sense in about 5 seconds, but my first experience with tea was when I was 11 or 12, and I had this inspired idea to do a spa day. I made the tub and had probably a face mask of sorts, and I decided that I wanted some nice green tea to go with that at 11 and 12. So I went to the kitchen, I made the tea, and being a child, I decided that I needed to load it with honey and sugar and anything I could because it must be horrible and taste terrible. So I did that, tried it, and it was like the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. And so I did not drink tea that day. And probably a couple weeks later, I decided I would do another spa day and try again. And this time I didn't put any honey and sugar. I just drank it plain green tea, and I loved it. I loved it a lot, and tea became quickly my favorite drink, which eventually inspired this company, Tea and a Love of Fairies and Storytelling. I'm also going to bounce the tea bag in there a little to spread it around. But going off of my story, I will not be adding any honey or sugar. However, I'm for sure going to have a little tea sandwich to go with my drink. I'm obsessed with tea sandwiches, and we have a really beautiful selection here. For me, it's between the cucumber situation we have here and the egg situation. And I think to get some protein, I'm going to go with the egg. Yeah, okay, I'll go with the egg. That's so good. Okay, now I'm gonna try my tea. It's definitely sweet. Cheers. I like to do this thing where you breathe in and then you breathe out to cool the tea, put it near your heart to warm it, and then you drink it. You gather the wisdom of the plants. And that is my cup of tea. Oh, thank you. Have a good day. Or I could show it and then bring it here, hold it for a second, then open it.
That feels perfect.
Beautiful. The other way? I think would look really nice.
Sure.
And cut.
Oh, that's so cute.